Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Operation Monster Force Sleepwalker Aerial Assault Trooper. And once again, here is the box. These things are packaged really nicely. A matter of fact, maybe too tightly. Once you cut it, you literally have to dig your hand in there, and if you don't rip the box, you probably have small little hands like me. But anyway, here we can see some photography of the actual figure. As we open it up, we can see the figure right there. We can see everything that, well, not everything. We can see some of the stuff that he does come with, and there we have the comic panel that talks a little bit about the figure. All right, he is from season 2, so this is after the zombie apocalypse has broken out. This is after season 1, which was the actual first wave that we got. We've gone through season 0. I don't know, we haven't gotten completely through it because those are the zombies and everything. But here we are. This is the Forgotten King. He's created these creatures here, and that's what they're actually wearing, is a device that constantly puts them to sleep so he can control them, if I am correct. But here we can see the actual figure. We have the nice cross out. We got Halloween Boy, who is probably my favorite so far. His orange just pops. But anyway, looking at this, we're going to get into these. You've probably been watching some of the videos, especially if you like the Operation Monster Force. So you've probably seen this face one too many times. But you're going to get to see it again, and at least like 4 more times, I think. But let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when I drop the Operation Monster Force reviews, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an Operation Monster Force review. Alright, so this aerial sleepwalker is now out of his plastic prison. You can see I brought down a couple of the other sleepwalker figures, and their face sculpts are completely different. Their bodies are completely different, or at least the overlay, shall I say. And this guy is a werewolf, and I kind of forgot about that, so I'm actually glad I accidentally ordered a second one, because now I'll have a werewolf. Anyway, let's look at everything that they do come with, and if you're new to the channel, I like to start off with the stuff that we've already seen. So, quickly, we have this kind of like big pistol. Dr. Caligari came with it. You can see it's like a Tesla coil here, so it does shoot out there. You got some nice green in it. It has the port right there for port there for your blast effects. It looks like some sort of scope, so they can kind of scope it down. But you got this. You got a nice wash on it. You got your grip, you got your trigger and your trigger guard. This isn't the worst one. And what is cool is, I don't remember this. This is new. So this is a different type of blast effect that I would assume just is perfect for, oh, you know what this is? This is for the jetpack. So we're going to leave that over there. So these things pretty much use these Tesla coils, or Tesla, not coils, the electricity. And if you look at this, you get this nice translucent. It does look good. I'm trying to figure out other ways to use it. And these are fine, I guess, if you really want to go like sci-fi-ish. Alright, so you can plug them in together. They can also be done well, actually this one can't be done individually. It actually plugs into it. They're 2 different pieces. This one can't be done individually. But you can plug this one in. If you have multiple ones, I guess you could do have them both coming out of different ports. All right. We have the AK style. Now, this is not designed by Gridiron. This is done before that. I've talked to Mark, and he said this is not really what they're into. So if they do weapons like this, they probably won't be done by Gridiron. So this was on it came with these. You can see I don't use them. These are actually Top Fun toy guns right now. I think that's a Top Fun toy. I know that one is for sure. Anyway, these seem less brittle. They give it a little bit of give. If I remember correctly, the other ones just were going to snap. They were very rigid. But look at this weapon. It's not the worst. I don't really hate this one tremendously, but it still has that weird Tesla coil. It does have a magazine. It does not remove. All right, so I guess you could be shooting different types of energy or vials of stuff, but you got this nice thin guard, or thin, what's it called? stock right there. You get your trigger, your grip, your trigger guard, your scope right there. So you're kind of looking through it. Well, whether to aim, you got your foregrip right there. It does have some nice paint. So it does kind of look worn at the top. It looks like at one time it was supposed to be gold. So if this is like electricity, I could see how it's supposed to be wearing out. So I actually do like that. And the design is decent. It's not the worst. Just not what I'm really interested in. But again, it fits with what they're going for. All right. We get some hands, and we get a lot of hands. And sometimes I will say we don't need this many hands, but other times I'll be like, you know what? This is perfect for it. So we're going to get our fist hands. These are the same as we've had before. You have your knuckle protector or knuckle dusters, whatever you want to call them. You can see the way the glove is supposed to look. So you do have a little bit of wrinkle in it. Again, nice. We get our C-grip hands right here. All right, same design. We've seen this 100 times before. Again, I like having multiple hands. Eventually, you just have too many hands, and you can mix and match them. Or if you put them all together, then you end up completely being lost with how many hands you might actually have. All right, on him, he comes with the trigger fingers. All right, so there's the trigger finger hands, and then we're going to get the open glove hands. All right, same design. You get your knuckle protectors right there. All right. Now we get these ones. I guess I'm skipping something that's reused, and that is because he's a werewolf. And I don't believe we've had anything like this yet. So when you're looking at these hands are definitely bigger. So I'm assuming they grow a little bit. But you can see the fur on it. You can see the black nails that they get. And you can see all the design, which again, looks pretty good. And they're open because, let's be honest, he's a werewolf. He's going to be swiping, grabbing things, different things like that. Then we have a couple trigger fingers, which I'm fine with. Because this is a weird universe they've created. All right, so you got the trigger guard or trigger finger right there. You might need to take a razor blade and just cut back a little bit so you have a little bit more. And if you don't know what I mean, all you do is you take your razor blade, you look right there, and then you just kind of slide back and forth, and you cut right into it. And then you can move the finger out a little bit easier to get that in. Now this is a harder plastic. It works really good with like a classified figure, Marvel Legends, stuff like that. All right. They give you 4 different size tubings. All right, for all different types of stuff. Now they've given a lot of these. These actually work really good and look really good if you're going to create like a Dr. Mindbender army. He could be perfectly the person that's in charge of all of this. Him and Dr. Caligari can be working together. But we'll look at this one. They're all the same, just different lengths. Nice design on it. It almost looks like they still give it a little bit of a wash. It's going to plug directly into it. All right, and this is super flexible, so you don't need to really worry too much about it. All right, and if we take this here, it plugs in right there, and then it'll plug into the backpack. These guys also have it here. All right, so you can plug it, plugs in there. These pieces are removable, so you have a whole bunch of different pieces. And I mean, you'll have a whole bunch of different pieces. If you did get any of the season 1 figures, all these things have different ports, and there's so much stuff to plug in there. All right. As for the blast effects, I know we've looked at these before. Here's the big one for the big plume, and it should plug directly into this. So if you want to make this an actual weapon, that's why you could say, hey, that has the magazine right there. We have the smaller one with the plume. All right. I think this one works really good for like pistols, and this one also for smaller pistols, rifles, different things like this. I like the way this one looks best. You actually have like an explosion coming out. All right, and then as we get smoke effects with all of these. So Smoke effects are pretty cool. I love having those. That's such a good shot after you're done, you know, taking pictures. Or you're taking pictures, but they're just done. All right, here is their jetpack. So it looks like it has a couple little wings. There's your exhaust. And you're also going to have your port so we can plug different things into this. Going to plug right into his back. And I'm sure this can be used for G.I. Joe. There's the G.I. Joe right here. And it can plug in the G.I. Joe if you want it. Alright. So, looking here, you got nice silver on the top. It almost looks like it's a rocket. You have like this dark gray silver fin. And then you're going to have the wings. I guess that's what they're using, saying is going to allow them to fly. Again, it's a world with werewolves, vampires, Halloween boys, Frankensteins, and military. It's all kinds of stuff. All right. But you can see the nice detail. All right, paint is really good on it. I like the exhaust. And then here is the small little exhaust. Now, the fact that this is green coming out makes me think that maybe they're using some sort of different chemical. All right. And that will plug directly into there. This would have been cool if this was just was universal. Then you could have used any of these. I don't know why. I feel like they missed the boat on that. All right. But I do like the way this looks. It's pretty cool. It matches the aesthetic. So, and then we're going to have our werewolf. And I don't think that... God, that looks really cool. All right. You have an angry face. You can see those eyes right there. You can look at the teeth. They clearly look werewolfy, very torn. The nose is painted black. You can see the tongue. And then you can see all the fur and the big ears. And they did a really good job with the detail. You get down to the neck and the same thing. All right. So they're going to make them so you pop off the neck here and it's just flowing all the way up. That head sculpt is awesome. And then you're going to combine it with the hands. And again, I'm assuming you could use this guy and create him as a werewolf. I mean, I like the amount of stuff that you can do with this. It really is something else. All right. As for the actual Sleepwalker figure. Now, his head sculpt is different. This is kind of what they came with before. All right, looks more like a Cylon. All right, and this was the ones to go with Action Force, and I actually really like these. And that just happens to be a Top Fun toy gun that fits perfect with the paint scheme. So looking at this guy, you can see that green, which, you know, it really goes well, and I should have taken him upstairs. It goes pretty well with the Crystal Ball and Ghost Viper. But looking here, it has like this grate right here. You can see I'm assuming this is metal. All the little rivets. It looks like this is like a piece that maybe clamps down for the ears. You're going to be able to plug this into that. All right. Again, the sleepwalking stuff, it controls them. That's what doesn't make any sense about the werewolf though. And we'll get into that in a second. All right. Completely different torso, at least overlay of this torso, and the trench coat. As you can see, these ones are much shorter. So looking here, as I look underneath, yeah, so they have the same underlay. I mean, I want to move everything around. They have the same underlay. It has that logo on it right there. So that's right around the collar. You can see the buttons right there. And then we get to the actual jacket here. You can see the buttons going up, the nice collar. And then we have these big pouches and the knife sheathed in. This knife does not come off. Looks like we got a little hook up here. But the texture on it, the wear on it, looks awesome. All right, and as we go down here, we can see how it's going to clamp onto it. These little pieces do come off. So we can change the belt buckle. We can change these little pieces if you want to. And they give you a lot of different logos and stuff. Now, my complaint with this right now, and I'm just going to say this, is that these pieces are going to be in the way. Very cumbersome. You see how thick that is? Even though this is not the exact same one that came with that figure, there's an overlay that goes over it. It's the same design meant to be put on here. And these get in the way. They're just too big. I took this one off. I put the alternate one on it. But they're just too big and thick. And so if you're going to try and shoot across, it's going to cause a problem. If he's a werewolf and attacking, it doesn't really matter. All right, as we get to the arms, he has some sort of like, not a shoulder pauldron, but a little bit of protection right there. Arm runs down, you can see the wrinkles in it, and then you get to this big long glove. All right, same with over here. Then we get the same thing that they did with the Cobra Troopers. It has their logo, wraps around the arm, nice little armband. All right, we get the long skirt. We can see the buttons right there. So all that looks pretty good, and it is pretty pliable because that's going to make it so you can actually articulate the the figure. And then we get down to his pants, and this is the same pants I've been using. All right, if you look there, the boots and everything are the exact same. What is nice, again, you get some wrinkles around here. You get the long boot where you can see the wrinkles. All right, and you actually have some tread mark on the legs. So as for his articulation, he can look up and he can look down. He should be able to look up really well considering he's a flyer. Turn side to side, head turns. There's his T-pose. He twists at the bicep and at the shoulder. Pinless double elbows. He's got the wrists that are going to move. He does have the diaphragm cut, but you can only do so much there. All right, so you can kind of go that far down, that far back, side to side. His Jean-Claude Van Damme. I told you this is very pliable. It'd be much better if it was, soft goods, but then you're looking at even more. And then he does have drop down hips, so they can pop right back up into place. He's going to swivel at the thigh. Double pinless knees. The boot cut. And then the ankle rocker. So all the same articulation that these guys had. The same buck that they're using, but a completely different overlay. Arms look to be the same. So all in all, same uniform, but different outfit when it comes to that. And this is going to make it hard to see everything. So let's arm this guy up quickly as we'll throw this on here. And then you're going to want to use a shorter one. I guess two of these are the same length. I only remember them giving us two to begin with, so I wonder if maybe they accidentally gave two of the exact same ones. So that's going to plug into there. And then if you wanted to plug this in here, you want to be carrying this weird AK version, you can do that. All right. Now my guess is that when they run out of whatever gas this is, that it also uses to create this. This is when he can switch down here and out of the same barrel shoot bullets. All right, they came out actually pretty easily. Now my question is, if I look here, these come off. So you may ask yourself, why do I need those to come off? And technically you don't. But with all of these guys, there was like 3 or 4 different versions of the gas mask. All right. So what you can do is there's a plug that you can plug that in. You can use these ones, or you can grab a couple of the other ones that the Sleepwalkers had and use theirs. It's up to you. Again, I think that's where they're giving you the incentive They give you a few other things when it comes to this right here, so they can swap it out. All right, they're under the assumption that you've gotten everything. All right. As for standing this guy, I don't think it's going to be a problem. These guys, I've had no issues. I mean, he feels really good. I mean, again, he's an action figure. They pretty much all pose the exact same. There's 1 foot. As you can see, that is 1 foot. But this will get in the way a little bit. I forgot he also comes with the stand, the Operation Monster Force stand. Here it tells you the Sleepwalker Aerial Assault. So, but what we want to do is we want to put this on him, because we need to see how this looks. But before we do that, I'm going to stop the camera, go grab some hot water, throw them in hot water, and do it that way. Because if you watch the other reviews, all the necks need to be heated up, so there's no use struggling to get this off. We'll do it after it's heated. All right, he's heated up, and while I was waiting for him, I popped out that I popped out my other one. All right, so I heated it up, just plain hot water, and the neck is gonna pop right off. All right, now I've struggled with all these, so I figured there's no reason to sit there and watch you guys watch me struggle. All right, so we're gonna pop that right on him. Let's dry him off. And so now I'll have one that's a sleeper, and then I'll have one that is a werewolf. And secretly I'm like, I hope they make a whole bunch of different versions of these. They may, to be honest. I just haven't even paid attention. I've just been ordering them. All right, so we'll pop the hand off. We're going to throw the werewolf hand on here. And I didn't have to heat these up. This part is actually not heated. I didn't put a lot of water in it. So, but we want to have a werewolf trigger finger at least, so he can hold something. All right, so there's your werewolf. And you can see he can look up so far. He can look down, side to side. And that looks awesome. So, Werewolf by Night for your Marvel Legends. Ugh. Yeah, I see why my moderator pretty much said he looks like crap. But this one looks awesome. You know, it's hard to be... Again, I love what they're doing. It's just something different. But there you go. That is... that one right there. And as you can see, you get this guy. Kind of got to move him around. I do like that face sculpt. It doesn't remind me of the Sleepwalkers. But at the same time, he's supposed to be a werewolf. So maybe that's the reason why the mask is meant to look different. The only thing that I don't get is they constantly have to be put in a state of sleep. All right, so that's what I was saying. So what I was saying is they got to be put in a constant state of sleep. And that's the way that the Forgotten King continued to control them. The only issue is once the mask is off, then the werewolves are free to do what they want. And they have them so they can attack the part vampire Operation Monster Force. Right? So... anyway, I think that just about wraps it up. Let's finish this video. As you can see, I'm just kind of loosening this guy up, as you should with all your figures. And I'll say it again, if you feel like you need to heat your figures up, just do it. Hot tap water. Don't boil it, just hot tap water. All right, let's finish. All right, there you go. That is your Sleepwalker Aerial Attack. And again, here is one that is the werewolf. And then here is the one where he is... again, this is constantly being fed to them where they're halfway in a sleep, so the Forgotten King can control them, if I'm correct with the lore there. Now again, you don't have to follow that lore. Maybe you just want a werewolf. Well, you got that here. Maybe you just want this crazy looking guy. You got that here. Or maybe you want to throw on a Dr. Mindbender head. Maybe you want to grab a head pack. I got head packs over there. And create your own creature, your own human. There's so many things that you can do with this. Like so many lines. this is not unique to just them. There's a lot of lines that are doing this. They want people to customize. I know they want this to go with G.I. Joe. They probably want it, hey, you know what? Use it with your Valaverse. Hell, maybe they're like, you know what? Don't buy Valaverse. You can buy this. It's all up to you. These things can be used in so many different ways. But I'm going to get out of here because I spent a lot of time and I got to put this whole thing together. And if you're watching the channel, you know I've just been pumping out video after video after video because so much stuff has come in the past month. But I'm going to get out of here. You stayed this long, please take a second. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an Operation Monster Force review. Now don't go anywhere. Maybe you're saying, you do G.I. Joe, I can see that, but do you do Operation Monster Force reviews? Well, if you look right there, and if you can see over there, you know I do. Right up here, I'll drop another one, and down here will be a playlist of all the Operation Monster Force stuff that I've done. Take care.